Alright, Resident Evil Requiem, one of my most anticipated games of 2026, and is legit coming out in a few weeks here in February, which is insane. But anyway, I wanted to make a video about 5 things I think it needs to get right. And keep in mind, I've never played a Resident Evil game ever, which is just absolutely insane. Yes, I know it's bad, whatever. But I have watched a lot of lore details and just what is Resident Evil and all that stuff. So I do know quite a bit about it now, right, in terms of lore and just everything and the characters and all that stuff. But anyway, let's get into the video. So starting off with number 1 is going to be Grace Ashcroft's character and just gameplay in general, right? I think her gameplay looks really, really good, but compare it to Leon, whose gameplay is just so immersive and so fun and entertaining and just action, heavy action, right? And you're just throwing hands with everybody, throwing combos, whatever it is, right? And, compared to Grace's, scenes or whatever she has so far in these trailers or whatever, it just looks like she's basically just sneaking around, trying to get by. And sure, she does have weapons, and you are still, interacting with the enemy, of course, still. It's not like you're just purely sneaking around, right? But just compared to Leon's gameplay, right, I just definitely think it's a little more, dull. And I think the directors spoke about that, how they're going to be two, people you're playing as this game, right? But my concern is like every time you're going to play Leon, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. This is so fun. This is awesome. And then when you go to play as Grace, it's just like, oh, now it's all slow again. No, like that's what I kind of mean by that, right? And to give you an example, is the MJ missions from Spider-Man 1, 2, right? I know these games are completely different types of games, right? But it does give me the same kind of feeling when you're playing as Peter, right? Spider-Man, and you're swinging around, you're exploring the city, you're having a great, you're just whooping everybody's ass, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, now we gotta play as MJ, right? So I'm not saying that's gonna be necessarily the case in Resident Evil Requiem, but it does. I do see the similarities just a little bit, right? I see the gameplay slowing down so much when you play as Grace, right? And like I said, that might not be bad at all. Who knows? Like, it could be actually really fun. But I'm just giving you a little, like, what I think, and what I kind of see about it, right? Not saying it's going to be the same exact thing, but who knows? We'll see. But in my opinion, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case, just because Grace's character and gameplay looks a lot more interacting than MJ's did. So we'll see. I think it looks great, though. I'm very excited to see what she has to offer in the gameplay. But anyway, my next point that I want to talk about is the story. I think the story so far looks very, very good. We haven't really seen too much about it, but obviously that guy right there, Victor Gideon, is, I think, going to be the main boss, if I had to assume. And he looks badass. He looks really, really cool. And I think, so like I said, so far what we've seen, it looks really, really good. With Grace being like an FBI agent, and she's now trying to go back to the hotel, I believe, where her mother died, right? And to try to find out like what was the cause of that, and her mother was involved with this organization, the Umbrella or something like that. So now she's got to try to figure this out, what's going on, and yeah, it looks really, really good. And Victor Gideon as well. I think he owned this house, or I think that's where they were, and now he's a bad guy. I don't know, something like that, right? With it all kind of ties together, right? Which looks really, really cool. And obviously Leon Kennedy has to get involved as well. So it's gonna match their stories, right? Which is gonna be absolutely awesome. But yeah, at the end of it, I do think it looks great so far. And yeah, but before I go on to my next point, I want to get this really, really good interaction Leon has with this gal kind of at the start of this gameplay section, and it looks really, really cool. So just watch it.
Kennedy, we need to leave immediately.
What's going on?
I don't know what's happening. Some kind of mass hysteria. The hospital is on lockdown. Doctor.
Calm down.
What was bro doing? He had all day to save that poor lady. I feel so bad because she just got chainsawed to death. But, okay, anyway, my next point is actually going to be Leon Kennedy. This guy is the heart and soul of the Resident Evil series, obviously, right? And the fact that he's back now is awesome. But obviously, he's back for a reason, right? And the director of the game, I think there's a showcase, and he was basically saying something big's going to happen with Leon, right? And so, like I said, he's back for a reason. So I think he's going to have a very, very major role in this story. I'm not saying he's gonna die or anything. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I love Leon. He's awesome, right? And yeah, so who knows what's gonna happen? But it's just crazy. Like, this guy is 51 years old now, and he's jacked, and he's still moving like he's freaking 20. Like, it's just insane. Like, this dude just doesn't care at this point. He doesn't care. Like, he came back even more crazy than the older games, right? But and yeah, it's been a while since we've seen, Leon Kennedy, right? So the fact that he's back, it's just really, really cool, and his gameplay looks unbelievably good. Like, it looks so brutal and badass, right? Way better than Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 remake, his combat was badass, but now they just took it to another level. I mean, he's whooping everybody's ass. He doesn't even care. He doesn't care anymore. He's just getting one shot in everybody, right? And so yeah, it's really gonna be cool to see what his character's gonna be doing in this major story, right, with Grace, and how those two characters are gonna be connected, or somehow, or maybe not. Who knows, right? But yeah, it's really awesome to see him back. He's such a cool, iconic character, right? So happy he's back. But anyway, now let's get on to my third point. Is going to be the kind of overall vibe of the game slash like horror, right? Obviously, you cannot have a Resident Evil game without the horror, right? And just the overall scariness and intense of the game, right? And yeah, I mean, based on what we've seen, like especially with these gray sections, actually, it looks fucking terrifying. Like, I mean, you just look at that. Like, that's fucking gross and disgusting. Right? It looks brutal. It really does, right? And when you're playing as Grace, at least, right? And I'm pretty sure you can play Grace as in first person mode and third person mode. And I think the game automatically puts you in first person mode in Grace's perspective. When you're playing as Leon, it's third person, right? So yeah, Grace's sections are going to be very, very scary and terrifying. I'm sure Leon's going to have some scary moments as well, like when he was fighting that big monster, whatever. That was pretty scary. But yeah, I think Grace's sections are really going to be absolutely terrifying, which I can't wait. And I do like all these people, as you can see here, like they're zombies, right? But they're still living in their jobs, right? When they're human, right? So they're acting like they're zombies, but they're still acting like they're working, which is cool. And like this scene here on the table where they're just eating it, like, oh gosh, just brutal, dude, just brutal. So yeah, I think this game's got the horror slash just whole vibe of it. It's gonna be really brutal, and yeah, it's gonna scare the absolute crap out of me. So I'm very excited, and you're gonna get my reactions a lot throughout the game because I am going to be covering this game when it releases, obviously, right? So yeah, I'm probably gonna be yelling in the mic, have to pause the game because I just got absolutely scared so badly, right? But yeah, and then I really is gonna be cool is like to see the other sections of like the game, right? Just because in the horror vibe of it, because we've only seen like a few areas of zombies and monsters so far, so I'm really curious what the other areas are gonna be like in this game. To be scared at or whatever, right? Because I think this is like a hospital area. I want to say like no, or no, it's a hotel. Sorry. hotel area, right? So yeah, people are just crazy. I mean, there's zombies, right? It's horrifying, right? But yeah, who knows what we're gonna see? But anyway, my final and last point of this game is going to be the locations. I think the locations are going to be very, very important in this game because I think I was talking about it a little earlier in the video about how Grace and her mother, right? Her mother died at this hotel, right? And now Grace has to go back at the hotel where everything went wrong, and that's a very important thing to her, right? So she's going to be emotional and, all that good stuff, right? It's going to be really cool to see the story connected between that, right? And then Leon Kennedy. Leon Kennedy with Raccoon City. I think it's announced that Raccoon City is coming back because we saw some screenshots and little trailer snippets of Raccoon City completely demolished right after Resident Evil 2. It was freaking nuked, right? And so I think Leon might be going back there, right? And so that's might be a very emotional thing for him as well because that's where everything went wrong. Everything changed after that incident, right? The whole world changed. So it's going to be very emotional for him as well to go back there, right? And I think we've seen some other, snippets of other places in this game of like I think it was like I want to say like a little not train section, like a subway section, yeah, like walking on this alongside these buildings on the sidewalk and these alleyways, things like that. It looks really, really good, and just the overall graphics of this game looks really, really good as well. But yeah, I'm super excited to see all the locations as well because I think it's going to be absolutely badass to see, and how much detail and depth and just how big are these sections going to be. How big did Capcom really go with these sections? So we'll have to wait and see. But so far, the hotel thing, that place looks massive. Like it looks like you're going to be doing a lot there and spending a good amount of time in each part of these sections, right? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and it's going to be really, really awesome. I cannot wait. But anyway, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I did pretty well because I've never played a Resident Evil game, so I hope I did a pretty good job of just covering this game because like I said, I've never played a game. I do know a lot about it because I've, watched a lot of lore details about it, but yeah, I hope I did good, and I hope I did justice to the RE fans. But anyway, this is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Please like and subscribe, and peace.